Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Get real good. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Global Happiness Specialist, Inner Peace Practitioner, Oracle, but more importantly, a student. I'm not, even though happiness specialist, I am not pretending that I am not learning, growing, expanding all the time. In fact, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to switch that up. Put student first, and then happiness specialist. And for all my new listeners, new audience, welcome, welcome, welcome to Reality Spirituality. This is the show where I share with you how to experience more happiness along the journey. What? And let me be very clear, when I say the word happiness, because some people don't like that word. I get a lot of, what about joy? Happiness is fleeting joy. It doesn't matter. Let go of the word and concentrate and focus on the vibration. And when I talk about the vibration, a personal vibration, so it is a personal vibration. When I say happiness, I mean a personal vibration of peace, a personal vibration of contentment. Everybody gets that word contentment. So it is a vibration of contentment. And the good news is, the great news is, happiness, inner peace, contentment, whatever word you want to use, is a practiced skill. Just like any other skill, just like any other vocation, from an artist, an athlete, a speaker, a landscaper, a painter, you name it. It's a practice. And so all I do is share what to practice and what to practice to experience this vibration of contentment more often. Not just sometimes, not just when things happen, not when you get good news, now you feel a certain way. No, the practice is ongoing all the time. And I'm up to 52, listen to this, 52 programmed behaviors that are subtracting from your happiness in any moment. Example, I love to give this example. How many of you out there worry? Raise your hand. There you go. There's only one reason, and this was last week's topic. It is a common, it is a topic that I revisit all the time because I keep getting questions about it. This worrying, guess what? There's only two reasons why you worry. Number one, it's not your fault. You were programmed to worry. You didn't pop out of the womb knowing how to worry. So you were number one, it's a program. Number two, it's a lack of trust. You can't trust and worry at the same time. So behavior that subtracts from happiness is worrying. And I've got 50, did I say 52? I'm up to 54 now. 54 program behaviors that are subtracting from your happiness. And the one that we're going to talk about today is waiting for something to happen. So you feel good. Waiting for a manifestation. Waiting for something to change so you can feel good. And I'm here to tell you, let's stop waiting. The practice is the moment. the present moment? Are you able to feel that vibration or be that vibration of contentment in the moment, regardless of what your external looks like? Because the external has nothing to do with the internal. And before I shot out of a cannon, before I go on, let me just share with you, I have people listening on Wisdom. You're welcome to join the show. And if you want to call in live and speak with me or ask a question, the number to call in is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619, and then just press the number 1. But let me get back to my brief introduction. So let me give you my definition of happiness. Everybody is different. We are as different as our fingerprints. My definition of happiness, I already gave you a little hint before, it is an energy of contentment. My definition of happiness is the ability to vibrate an energy of peace and contentment regardless of what happens. Regardless of what the world throws at you, regardless of the ups and downs, are you able to practice, and it is a practice, vibrating the energy of contentment? Happiness is a state of mind. It is a state in mind. It is internal. So forget the words, concentrate on the vibration, and everybody can relate to that vibration of contentment. Happiness, this vibration of contentment, you were born with it. And then the programming started, and then the programming starts. When I say happiness is a practice skill, that's the good news. It all depends on what you prioritize, what you commit to. What do you think is important? The world teaches that accomplish, and then you'll be happy. Do. Oh, that might be a song. Hold on a second. Do. That's another show. You know, my son told me, stop singing, Mom. Don't sing. Don't sing in the house. So I can only sing when he's not around me. But anyway, I digress. So there's nothing wrong with accomplishments, titles, money, but just know that those things, those external things, don't have anything to do with your contentment. And in fact, one of the examples I love to give is there is a billionaire now. His name is Ted Leonsis, Leonsis, and he survived a plane crash. I believe it was 1993 or 96. He survived a plane crash, and he was the one that started this bucket list. Check off things on your bucket list. I get it. Make a bucket list. And he has, you can go online and look at it. He has 101 items on his bucket list that he wants to accomplish, Lord, what's going on, that he wants to accomplish before he kicks the bucket. Get it? Woo! But guess what? Not one of those items, not one, maybe, I'm going to have to review it again. I just remember looking at it years ago. Not one thing, maybe one. I don't think there's even one thing on that list that is going to add to contentment, to inner peace, or to happiness. Not to maintain it. I mean, you may get a brief, I feel great, exhilaration in the moment. Oh, yes. Super Bowl ring, yes. But what happens? What happens hours later? What happens the next day? The program is, there is a program for dissatisfaction. In fact, the world sells dissatisfaction. The world sells be dissatisfied with who you are, where you are in this moment. And the ego loves it, eats it up. It is the fuel, it is the food for the ego to be dissatisfied in the moment. No, I'm going to wait until this happens. And that's what we're going to talk about, this energy, this waiting. which is another program. I used to spend a lot of time waiting for a bank account to change, waiting for a relationship, waiting for something to manifest in order to feel better. And I'm here to tell you that, how's that working out? This program of waiting causes anxiety, it's uncomfortable. And so the practice is to feel, be in this energy of contentment right now. Not about tomorrow, not about waiting, because as soon as whatever goal you've accomplished, and you know what, I'm going to ask you that, as soon as your goals are accomplished, and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people love to have goals, 1 week goal, 2 month goal, 6 month goal, 5-year goal, and then when they're accomplished, let me ask you, how long does that feeling of satisfaction last? How long does that feeling of satisfaction last after your goal is accomplished? I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with goals. I don't have any personally. I don't have any. Well, this is what I've surrendered to. This is after 40-plus years of this practice. This is what I've surrendered to. I don't have any goals other than what the universe has for me. Whatever the universe's goals are for me, okay, I'm good with that. I am not allowing or even inviting my ego to make a goal. The universe has me, it gives me less to do. So the goal, this is just my practice. I've already given up. Universe, and I use the term universe. Some people say God, some people say source, higher power, all that there is. It doesn't matter the word you use. And quite frankly, the truth is you can even be an atheist if you want to. The practice has nothing to do with believing in any entity that you don't believe in. It's just like, okay, here we go, gravity. If you jump off a building, you're going to fall. You're going to crash to the ground. So it's the same thing when I say you don't have to believe in a higher power. You really don't. You don't have to believe in a higher power to practice. You don't have to believe in a higher power to practice these program behaviors that are eliminating the program behaviors that are subtracting from your contentment. You don't have to believe in God to do that. Isn't that cool? Everybody's included. Before I go on, let me ask you a question. Because it always comes down to the individual. It comes down to you. It comes down to that person in the mirror. You know, you. Nobody else. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how important is this happiness, this contentment, inner peace? How important is that to you? Do you mind if it's available sometimes? Or would you want to feel that vibration of contentment all the time? So from 1 to 10, you know yours truly. It's a 10 for me. And it is number one over anything else. Anything else. Everything else is just icing on the cake. If I'm not content, if I'm not feeling that vibration of contentment in the moment, I have both of my arms out right now. One of these days, very soon, we're going to have a video. What? Not content? Listen, the greatest quarterback, whether you like him or not, that has ever accomplished quarterback, okay? How about that? Tom Brady. Before he retired, when he was asked, what's your favorite ring? He's the only one in history. He's a single individual that has more Super Bowl rings than anyone, not only an individual, but an NFL franchise in history. And when he's asked, when he was playing, What's your favorite ring? What's your favorite Super Bowl ring? His answer would always be the same. The next one. Michael Jordan isn't happy with 6 NBA championships. I could have won one more. When I say that the world sells dissatisfaction, pay attention to that. Don't believe me. And quite frankly, that dissatisfaction is a very good selling point. Usually people lead with, you don't have enough money, need a relationship, want to write a book. All of this comes, when I say that, want to write a book, all of this comes from what do you need to do in order to have this feeling or get a feeling. Before the famous slap heard all around the world, Will Smith was interviewed in GQ magazine. And forgive my listeners that have been listening to me for a while. I know I say this, bring up this point, but I think it's very powerful. He was interviewed months before, 2 or 3 months before the famous slap in GQ magazine. It was November. Let's see, where's the article? I tore it out of the magazine while I was waiting in the doctor's office. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. He said, let's see, he's had everything that he's ever set out for. The Grammy, a global fame, beautiful and successful, this was a while ago. Oops. Beautiful and successful wife, children, money. And this is what he said after that. He says, but I wasn't happy. And that's all I'm talking about, is putting that happiness, that contentment cart first. Not along the way. I mean, but it's up to you. You can make that decision. And where does all the work start? Where does all the practice start? One place. If I said I have the answer, the solution to all of your problems for the rest of your life, all of your problems, all of your challenges for the rest of your life, would you want to know what that is? It's simple. You all have it in your home. You all have it in your car. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, just a couple of hands. The answer is a mirror. All the solutions, all the practice, everything is done in the mirror. It is about you, meaning you have the power to switch your perspective in an instant. You have the power to make a different choice. What are you choosing in the moment? So I'm asking a question. Can other people hurt your feelings? Yes or no? Can other people offend you? Yes or no? Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you're feeling, or do you blame your circumstances for how you feel? If you answered yes to any of those, know that you're just working under a program. We were all programmed to believe that someone else can hurt can hurt your feelings. It's just not true. I know the program says it, but if I can do it, if I can practice, so can you. And what is your definition of happiness? I shared with you mine, the ability to be at peace regardless of what happens, the ability to vibrate contentment regardless of what happens. And my question is, are you as content when you're faced with life's inevitable challenges? And before I get to today's topic, which is waiting, I know you're waiting for the topic, I just want to share, only because I get new followers every week. I don't know how these people are finding me, because it's just me. It's just little old me. It's a study that was done by hospice nurse Bronnie Ware, Bronnie, and you can Google it. It's called The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. What? You heard me. The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. These people have days to live, weeks to live, months to live, and they were asked, what are your biggest regrets? And these 5 regrets kept coming up over and over and over again, and so she wrote a book about it. The 5 most common regrets of the dying, number 1, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. Woo-wee. I wish I didn't work so hard. Shout out to my workaholics. What's up? I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And, you know, sometimes we outgrow these people. One of my friends for, what is that? How long ago was that? 30 years ago? Yes, we connected a couple of days ago. I mean, honestly, I doubt that she's listening. I've outgrown her. Nothing wrong with her. Nothing wrong with me. No judgment. It's just that there's really nothing in common. And so, but from time to time we chat and catch up, and next moment. And the last most common regret of the dying is, I wish I would have been happier. Woo-wee! That's why it's number one for me. Let's get to today's topic. And again, if you want to speak with me live, the number to call in is area code 646-564-9619 and press the number 1 if you have a comment or a question. I have a few people in the queue. If you want to join the show, just press the number 1, and or on Wisdom, just ask to join. When I say happiness is a practice skill, inner peace and contentment, they're all practice skills, and like any other skill, the more you commit to the practice, the better the results. So the question you ask yourself is, are you ready to prioritize the vibration, the energy of happiness, contentment, inner peace over everything else, just like me? But you don't have to be like me. Only you, my dear listener, can answer that question. And your answer is going to determine how much inner peace, how much contentment, how much happiness you're going to experience on this journey. The first part of the practice is to gradually, with patience, with time, that's another program, impatience. I'm impatient. Now, let's go, now. The first part of the practice is to gradually eliminate, while practicing patience, behaviors that have been proven to subtract from your happiness. And in fact, talk about waiting. The book that I'm writing now, it's going to be out in the less than, let me just stop with that. Let me just stop, because if the universe wants that book out in 6 months, it's going to take 6 months. If the universe wants the book out next month, it's going to be next month. Hold on a second. Okay, let me turn that off. Phone calls right in the middle of the show. Don't they know I'm talking to you? Don't they know I'm busy? Call back, best friend. Listed below, not listed below, but I'm looking at my list here, 54 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. And one of them is the topic today of waiting. So my question is, what are you waiting for? Yes, I'm talking to you. Not her, not him. I'm talking to you. What are you waiting for? Or what have you waited for? How many of you out there are living in the moment all the time, in the present moment all the time? Raise your hand. In the present moment all the time. You already know that a program behavior is living in the past or living in the future. Those are two program behaviors. So how many of you practice living in the present moment? Because it is a practice. Don't think that I have this 100%. No. But the self-awareness, being self-aware, the practice of awareness, especially self-awareness. Is there only other way? Self-awareness, it's the same thing. The practice is to be conscious of where your focus is. Is your focus on yesterday? Is your focus on a story in your head? Is your focus on thoughts? Is your focus on tomorrow? You know what? I got a phone call from another person that I had to grandfather in. I grandfathered him in. I can't get rid of him. I tried, but for some reason the universe wants this person in my life. And let me just back up a little bit. If someone's in your life in the moment, they're supposed to be there. And if they're not there, they're not supposed to be there. If you think that you have more power than what the universe deems as what the universe deems is your destiny, I've given up. The practice is total surrender, and with that comes blind trust, and with that comes patience, and with that comes being okay with uncertainty. That's another practice that is going to add to your peace, add to your happiness, being okay with uncertainty. But I digress. Let's get to the waiting. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to feel good? Are you waiting for your book to come out? Are you waiting for someone to call you back? Are you waiting for a text? Are you waiting for money? Are you waiting to lose weight? Even being a fitness instructor, this program of I'm not the correct weight, I'm not a good weight, I need to lose weight. I grew up with needing to lose weight, and I've been skinny, and I've been chunky. And there's still a vibration of dissatisfaction. Still a vibration. Too skinny, too chunky. So when I say the world sells dissatisfaction, do your homework on that. Who's walking around saying, yes, I'm satisfied in this moment? No, the world says you need to do something more to get to this place of satisfaction. But let me get back to waiting. So waiting for something to happen, waiting for a manifestation. The practice, what I'm urging, but not demanding, is that the energy of contentment is now. Not tomorrow, not when something happens, not when something is manifested. Does something need to manifest for you to be able to feel good? Does something need to manifest in order for you to feel, wow, content? If you said yes, know that you are operating on a program. The book that I'm writing now is called Program for Unhappiness. And in fact, another thing that's interesting to me, because it may not be interesting to you, follow your intuition. Use your intuition. Let it be your GPS along this journey. And when you develop the relationship with the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, trust that intuition. Trust that sixth sense. I was told more than once that title, Programmed for Unhappiness. In fact, listen to this one. I was told that I can't even, because I actually sent some of it to a person to start looking at it for editing. I can't even start editing because I can't get past the title. No, the title, Program for Unhappiness. Oh, horrible. 3 thumbs down. I hate it. Change it. No, when you're feeling something so strong, when you intuitively feel, stick with it. Stay with it. You can feel if something is a fit for you or not. And these people, whether they mean well, they're not in your skin. They can't be you. So there is a mass. Now I'm really getting off track. I'll get back to the waiting program in a minute. But there is behavior out there of noticing and being in everybody else's business and noticing what somebody else is doing and thinking that you know what, because this was me, thinking that I knew what was best for someone else. Did I tell you that out loud? I used to think that I knew what was best for someone else. How arrogant. Scratch the word arrogant, because that's another program. How incorrect that is. There is no way that I know what someone else needs unless I am that person, unless I'm in their skin. I digress on that one. Let's get back to the program of waiting. What causes, scratch that, what causes? Let me give you a perfect example. If you've listened to me, let me just share again because I have new listeners. In 2018, my mother died, and a few weeks later, I said 2018, didn't I? October 2018. And I found out that she gifted the family home, which was supposed to go to me, to her handyman. That's right. No, she didn't have mental capacity. No, she didn't know what she was doing. All of that, no. But this was my journey. This was thanks, universe. I mean, if I'm claiming to be a happiness specialist, hey, take that, Rebecca. Bam! And I have to say that even with the practice, that's 2018, was that 5 years ago? Almost 5 years ago. It took 2 weeks. It was, because I remember just spiraling down, spiraling out of control with thoughts, with stories, with blame, with, it was consuming. 2 weeks. And then after that, that's the funniest story I've ever heard. Here we go. Happiness specialist, mother gifts the family house to the handyman. Then I could laugh about it. Then it's a funny story. So when I talk about the practice also comes with being patient with yourself, being patient with your evolution, being patient with how the universe is unfolding everything, and believe it or not, everything happens for a reason. And what was the reason for that? Guess what I discovered? I discovered I had expectations. I discovered that I had attachments to material things. I discovered that I wanted to blame mother, handyman, and attorney. But my point is even more. Do you know, so now after a year or almost 2 years, I did get the house back after $120,000 plus of attorney's fees, also after over $40,000 of settling with the handyman, who's my best friend now. No, he's not. but I wouldn't have a problem having lunch with the handyman or the attorney. There's no ill will there. Absolutely none, because they didn't do anything to me. It wasn't them. It was a bigger plan. The universe set that up. The universe set that up so that I would be able to grow even, when I say grow, expand even more. Zero expectations, zero attachments. You think I could care less about anything that I own now? Absolutely nothing. Even this Buddha that I wear around my neck that I've had for 30 years, I thought about it. What if I lost it? And that includes sentimental things too. If I'm supposed to have it, I have it. If not, I don't. Let me get back to the waiting, because that was the point. Do you know that is still, that legal issue is ongoing to this day? It has taken over 5 years to even find an attorney that is going to, in 2 months ago, let's see, May, I found an attorney after at least contacting over 30 attorneys, maybe more. Attorneys don't like to sue other attorneys. The legal malpractice. Let's say this: in the state I'm living, there may be a lot of. In fact, in California, it's going to be easy to find a legal malpractice attorney. But in Nevada, good luck. But finally, after all of these years, I have someone, and that was in May. I found someone in May. Well, the universe gifted that to me in May, putting together a whole a letter, a demand letter, legal letter. And do you know that was June, July? It's been 3 months before the attorney that I found to assist me with this communicated with me again. This waiting is not easy unless you trust that the time, that all of the time that it takes, there's a reason for it. Could I say, it should have happened 3 years ago. It should have happened 4 years ago. And in fact, now this is a new process. I don't even know how long this is going to take. Another year? Another 2 years? 7 years of this? Okay, universe. I'm okay with that. My ego isn't okay with it. That entity that tells me that something is wrong, something needs to change, something isn't right. No, but I don't identify with that. I don't identify with the ego. It's not my identity. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my stories. Wait as long as it takes. Oh, my ego hates to hear that. But when I say identify with it, I do not identify with that entity that says, something's wrong, Rebecca. Something needs to change. How long did it take for this earth to form? Billions of years. Billions. And I don't think God would have had it, I'm looking at my wrist now and tapping on my wrist. Hey, let's hurry up here. Let's hurry up, Earth. Let's get out of your frozen over phase, dinosaur phase. Let's hurry up. Let's go. Let's go. Flood, let's go. Billions of years. The truth is, impatience is another program. And when you want to experience more contentment, the ego is not your friend. The ego can only be discontented. Discontented. Is that a word, discontented? Discontent. The ego can only, that's all it is discontent. Discontented with the moment, discontented with everything. I don't like this. I need more. This needs to change. No, ego, you're a broken record. Nothing needs to change for me to vibrate an energy of contentment, a personal vibration of contentment. No, ego, you're off. I hear you. Now, and it's not resisting. It's not trying to resist the thoughts. I'm not trying to stop the thoughts. No. I just know how much power I'm going to give to those thoughts, how much power I'm going to give to the ego story. And it's a Z-E-R-O, zero. And that's an ongoing practice too. Who do you identify with? What? What happened? I don't know what happened. I look down and then I see the microphone was shut off. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, oops, sorry, wisdom people. And I don't remember, well, anyway, that's what happened. See, reality, spirituality, the microphone was off. I don't know when the microphone got shut off, but it's on now. Let's get back to the waiting. So what are you waiting for? Your perfect job? Money, more money in the bank account so you can feel better? The relationship so you can feel better? Well, how about this? Know that whatever you are waiting for, if you are in the present moment waiting, you will be waiting in all of your future moments also. Whatever you're vibrating in this present moment, waiting or a vibration of dissatisfaction, it will be the same in your future moments. That's why the practice of I don't want to say wanting, feeling content in the moment, regardless of what is going on externally, is so important. There's no need to wait. Well, scratch that. There's no need to wait to feel good. There's no need to wait to feel whole. There's no need to wait to feel balanced. You feel that right now without anything changing. How? Thank you for asking. One of the biggest practices is being able to change your perspective. It's just like, how many of you out there know how to drive a stick shift? Or let me even go back. Learning how to ride a two-wheeler, learning how to ride a bicycle. That didn't happen maybe some people can get on a bicycle and just know how to ride it instantly, but I couldn't. I had to practice. And so the practice of being patient, the practice of feeling a vibration of contentment is just that, a practice. And so don't think that you need to do this by yourself. You know that the universe is responsible for all the hows. So just ask, hey, universe, how do I vibrate contentment in this moment? Or more contentment. Hey, universe, how do I experience more happiness along this journey? How? And let it go. And then all you need to do is trust and have patience. The waiting, the ego waiting, because the ego loves the anxiety, loves to feel the opposite of peace. Know that, and when you realize that, it's been exposed. When you expose the ego for what it is, and you can use whatever term you want, ego, critical mind, lower consciousness, know that when the ego, not when, but that's the only thing the ego knows how to do, is feel and be discontent. And we're waiting. How long is this going to take? Waiting. That energy, you don't need it. It doesn't do any. Well, how about this? I'm going to jump to the worrying again. Because what happens sometimes with these programmed behaviors, let me just stay with worrying, stick with that. What happens sometimes with these programmed behaviors is that the ego gets addicted to, used to. And if I said I can take your worry away in a second, there may be some uncomfortableness behind that. And let's get back to the waiting. Your identity, or who you are, when I say your identity, hold on a second, let me find this. Okay, here we go. As soon as you're born, because I don't memorize all of this, as soon as you're born, you're given a name, a nationality, a religion, a race, and a culture. Then you spend the rest of your life identifying with that. And I'm here to tell you that you're more than this identity that you identify with. What? Well, that was a lot to say. That you are more than the identity that you identify with. And know that when I talk about self-awareness and knowing yourself, know that that it's very easy to limit. I'm talking for myself because I'm not pretending to know you, but it was very easy for me to just limit, oh, I'm like this. I like A. I don't do B. All of that, I probably would be better to come up with an example. Okay, let me give you an example. My identity, I identified with this person who, if there was some kind of injustice done to me, just like the house being gifted to the handyman, if there's some kind of injustice, boy, oh boy, I'm going to fight it. Yes, I identified with being a fighter. I'm using air quotes now, a fighter. I wish I had $1 for every time I sent an email fighting a company or you name it. I'm not just going to roll over and not fight, quote, unquote, injustice. But you know what the universe told me the last month? Ooh, and it just hurt my ego so, it just might as well stab my ego in the heart, in the heartless heart. The universe told me, you know what, Rebecca? I think it's time for you to just let these people get away with things. Let these people get away with it. Do you know how traumatized my ego was when I said, let somebody get away with it? If they are, I'll give you a perfect example. 3 days ago, I have to install a brand new, here we go, air conditioning unit in this old 30-year-old house. And that includes, and so I had somebody come out and give me an estimate. And of course it was at least $8,000 over what I thought it was going to be. I needed ductwork. I needed to replace all the ductwork in the attic. I needed a new furnace. I needed a new this, that, and the other. And it came up to $16,000. And I didn't, here comes the intuition. And this is the thing, I don't know, but if somebody ever rushes you or says, sign right now, don't wait, limited amount of time, you have 1 more week, get it now before you get it now. You know that sales pitch. When do you want it to start? That rushing, pushing, that car salesman kind of person. Nothing wrong with car salesmen. Let me just throw that out. Not judging, but there is a vibe. There is a vibe to that, and there's something that just didn't sit right. And sure enough, a couple of days later, I had another company come out, and it was at least $7,000 cheaper. Now, instantly, this is just so I want to explain. Instantly, my first impulse was to write a review. Contact a Better Business. They're ripping people off. Seniors. That's right. I'm a senior. I'm 67. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Shh. We're ripping the seniors off. All of that. Oh, I would have been on it. Easy, quick. And the universe told me about a month ago, let it go. We'll handle this. Stop fighting. You don't need to fight. This is what really killed me. The universe said, let these people get away with it. You just don't know how that bothered me. Let these people get away with it. Now, before I get the emails of well, you should warn other people so they won't get ripped off too. I understand that. I got it. But this is a personal switching identities, scratch the switching, expanding an identity. You are not that boxed in. You are not that you're more than that person. You're more than that identity is really what I'm trying to say. So this waiting, let me get back to the waiting. I've been broken, surrendered. Okay, universe, I'll wait as long as this legal battle is going to take. It's already been 5 years. It could be 6 years, could be 7, could be 8. Now I'm gonna get all. I'm gonna start tearing up. It's gonna be. What if it's 10 years? Are you still gonna be okay? Can you still vibrate contentment even if it's 10 years of waiting? And the answer has to be, is yes. I'll wait, universe. I'll wait for however long you take. I'm not waiting for more money. I'm not waiting for a relationship. I'm not waiting for an ideal weight. I'm not waiting for a job. I'm not waiting to accomplish a goal. But I am waiting for the universe to expose, to unfold its plan. If something is happening, it's time and it's supposed to be happening. And if it's not happening, it's just not time. But that comes with practice, and it comes with trust. Practicing trust. What are some of the program behaviors that subtract from happiness? I'm glad you asked. I'm up to 54. We talked about a few of them. Let me just share this, especially with this waiting thing. This is a program, thinking anything is serious or thinking anything is important. I know. Health is serious. I hear that health is wealth. Okay, health is wealth. How about this? Contentment is wealth. Because there are a lot of people that just aren't healthy. But are they still able to vibrate an energy of contentment? Yes, they are. Even with being unhealthy. When I say unhealthy, it doesn't matter the medical condition. You can still vibrate an energy of contentment. Nelson Mandela vibrated contentment in a jail cell for 27 years. I don't know if it was 27 years, but 27 years. It doesn't matter your circumstances or where you are. You can vibrate contentment any time with practice and commitment and thinking that is even a priority. The world's priorities, come on, the success. What is success? What is the definition of success? Well, if you ask the world, it's a lot of money, and this thing about money brings you freedom. No, it doesn't. Freedom is a state in mind. In mind. There are a lot of people with a lot of money that in between their ears, there's no freedom there. Not judging. There's a difference between judging and witnessing. And describing. I'm just describing. There are a lot of things, and if the world taught that having and accomplishing has nothing to do with what you're seeking, which is a feeling of contentment, has nothing to do with it. boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hold on a second. Guest adding, let's see. Oh, boop, 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 my favorite. Here we go, my dear Darlene. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. What's going on? It's hot here, isn't it?
I'm blessed every day, and I said, people say, oh, how are you doing? I'm blessed. I'm still here, and it's amazing. And, when Michael said, I'm looking for that man
in the mirror.
That's right. And when he stated his case, he ain't here no more, and that's just real.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you understand Mr. Bojangles dance, I'm saying, when you listened to Sammy Davis and his talks about, his just perception and swing on what his take was. And so we all have a take. We all look at what we see, but now I'm questioning what is it I see, because it seems to me that perhaps, the real understanding that everybody doesn't have the same level of access, and access is just everything. But then when you can't get no access, I'm saying, okay. I mean, it's kind of like when you can't get no weed because you ain't got no money. That's real. When people use things, to get access to what it is, they take a risk. But what is the risk value? Well, the risk value is that there's somebody sitting around just creating the rules that allow you to move forward or get set back. And they're not going to promote you if you are too independent. We're not waiting on bing, 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 human capital. We're just not waiting on someone to tell us the way. But, however, there are a lot of people that don't want to follow rules. Rules are not their thing, and hello, Donald, you don't pay any taxes, and we feel that you did a great job because you chose to not pay the taxes and you figured it out. Well, other people haven't figured it out. They just ain't paying no taxes. They just want the person that's representing breaking and violating rules that would enable you to have an independent thought about anything that's your choice. It's your choice. But, you're not overseeing the educational outcomes of all children. But when we live in America and we say that Pledge of Allegiance, perhaps that's what we need to think about. What are we actually turning out, since we all pay taxes? And you could pay a lot of money depending upon how much money you actually make, how much they hold from your check, but, how much you actually getting back. Because you ain't getting that money back.
Well, Darlene, my dear,
I'm sorry, I just go on.
I know you do. I know you do. And so I want to ask you a question. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for something to feel good, or you feel good in the moment? What are you waiting for? And it has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm talking to you personally.
No. The struggle to me is that here I am at 65. People have not saw or witnessed anything that I'm talking about every day. They have no idea where I'm coming from, because simply they were not in the room. And the room denotes an engagement of every soul in America. And so basically, you have to, a closed mouth can't get fed. And there's no waiting. It's just, what seed do we plant to ensure that we reap the harvest?
Well, what is the harvest? What is the harvest? What are we trying to achieve?
Knowledge.
Why? Knowledge. Okay.
Why would we need knowledge? Simply because you can't make a decision on anything without understanding just what happened before or what happened after, but really what's happening now. And that's the power you have when you choose to stand up, utilize your knowledge and your choices of overseeing and engaging in what they call public policy, politics. Because that's where life is, where the money is.
Well, let me say this, because we only have a little bit of time left. One of the things that I practice, and I really love when you join the show and you contribute. Thank you so much. One of the things that I practice that adds to peace and adds to contentment, number one, is staying out of anybody's business and not paying any attention and not focusing on hold on a second, I don't know I got that message. And not paying attention to any, let me see, hold on a second. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can't see that. And not paying attention to anything I don't have control over.
And I get it. So we have to show up, and when we choose to show up,
let me say that. So, and another thing, I can only speak for myself, because what I've learned is that People don't, this happiness thing, everybody isn't down. Everybody doesn't think it's important. A lot of people don't.
I understand that.
Yeah.
That's why choice is relevant. But my time's running out, girl.
You too. I love you, Darlene. Thank you for joining.
You too. Just keep talking about what are we really waiting on, because it is a waiting kind of game.
Yes. And so back to what are we waiting on? What are you waiting on? Are you waiting for something to manifest to feel good? Are you waiting for someone? I used to say, where's my boyfriend? I only want a part-time boyfriend, universe. Where's my part-time boyfriend? And it just, you know what? The universe finally just sat me down and said, listen, if you have it, scratch that. In any moment, and I'm going to say it for all of us. I know I don't speak for everybody, but you have everything you need in every moment. Trust that, know that, believe that. There is nothing that you need that you are not being supplied with. Nothing that you need that you don't have. But that's another practice of trust. And the ego will tell me, oh, no, there's more. I need more. This moment isn't enough. This present moment isn't enough. All the time. But I'm not falling for it anymore, ego. I ain't falling for your tricks anymore, ego. I'm not falling for your stories and your lies. I'm not. I hear you. I feel your discontent. I know you're not satisfied. But I am who I really am. Who I am, my real identity, my true identity. You know, we're all conscious energy having a human experience. That identity is very satisfied in all moments. Doesn't see anything needing to be changed. Ooh, and that's a tough one. She said she was 65. I'm 67. Oh, a little whippersnapper. 65. Yeah, there's nothing, and that's not an easy pill to swallow. That's not an easy pill to accept. That nothing needs to change. Now, that has nothing to do with, trust me, that doesn't mean you just sit down and twiddle your thumbs and look at the sky. Oh, okay, beep. No, what that means is the action, my action, let me speak for myself, my action is based on my inspiration in the moment. What am I inspired to do in the moment? And this book that I'm writing, you know how long it's been over 5 years with the book, too. How long I've been programmed for unhappiness, but I can feel it now. It's ready. It's time. You can feel your intuition. You can feel your instincts. And that's another practice is trusting. So some of the program behaviors that subtract from your happiness are blaming anyone or your circumstances for how you feel. Comparing yourself to another person. This is going to give me a lot of problems. It always does. Giving power to words. Thinking that words are powerful. Innately, words are not powerful. I'm the only one saying it. Innately, words are not powerful. You are programmed to believe that words are powerful. My practice is you can't insult me and you can't compliment me with your words. Your words, energy, powerful. Words, not. I get it. Noticing what someone else is doing, that just means you're in somebody else's business. I already talked about thinking something is serious or important. Having expectations, having an attachment to an outcome. Having an attachment to an outcome. This waiting game, all ego-driven. I can wait, universe. I can wait, ego. In fact, I'm very peaceful. I'm at peace waiting. No, you're not in charge of me. Not anymore. that's the end of today's show. I want to thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And my website, which is being updated, is RebeccaNorrington.com. You can follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington, LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. I have a few videos on YouTube that's being updated too. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. And the book that I'm writing now, Program for Unhappiness, which is my favorite title, will be published in the next couple of months. Until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. Your conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient, and love is kind. Be kind and be patient with yourself, your growth, your journey. Be your own best friend, and remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality with Global Happiness Specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. And remember, happiness is a practice skill. Inner peace is a practice skill. That vibration of contentment is a practice skill. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and every moment reflects on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. Now, that's what I'm